Okay, I have figured out what I'm going to do about the lift on my Toyota Tacoma. Well, good afternoon everybody, and welcome back to the channel. As you may know, if you watch the channel, I have been toying with doing something else with the lift on my 2020 Tacoma back here. Right now it has a 3.2 ready lift. That's it. The original coils, the original shocks, the original struts, everything else original. The original leaf springs. So I've been kicking around what I want to do, and the whole reason this has even come up for me is because I'm having an issue with the ride quality. You know, at slow speeds around town, anywhere at 35 mile an hour or less, it's fine. Don't really notice any big differences, any big problems, anything like that. But once I start to get, I don't know, in the 45 mile an hour range, something like that, maybe a little higher, the ride quality starts to degrade, if you will. It starts to get worse. You know, I feel a little bit of a bounce still, and I know some of you are probably going to say, well, that's the tires. It's not the tires. I've actually changed out the whole tire and wheel setup. They've been balanced. The truck has been aligned. No issues like that. So I am pretty confident at this point that, that it's the suspension setup. That the shocks that are on the truck are just not sufficient to give me the kind of ride quality that I want. Now, in looking at what I want to do, you know, I've been focusing on the Bilstein or Bilstein, however you want to pronounce it. I'm going to go with Steen. 5100s because there are a lot of positive reviews about them out there. They're also adjustable, and I like that. You can adjust the fronts up to, I think it's 2 3/4 inches, something like that. Now, I have a 3-inch lift on the truck. I'm looking to probably maintain that lift. It's a block and spacer again, so we would put the shocks on with the lift intact. That is my thinking, unless the shop, you know, maybe suggests that I should get rid of the spacers in the front and just go with the Bilsteins. Now, if I did that, my front is already a little bit lower than my rear. I have a little bit of a rake in the front, you know, where the front kind of points down a little more. So if I was to lessen the lift in the front, in other words, max out the Bilsteins at 2 3/4 as opposed to 3, I'd actually be adding another 1/2 inch, or reducing, or 1/4 inch I mean, reducing the rake in the front by a 1/4 inch more. So instead of being at 3/4 low in the front, I would be at 1 inch lower in the front. Not something I really want to do. I'd rather get more towards level if I could. Now, maybe that means that you go with no lift as far as the block and spacer goes and utilize the Bilsteins as the lift because of the adjustable capability of the shock. Haven't fully decided that yet. That's going to be a question for the shop once I get in and talk to them. Looks like cost-wise on this is about 800 bucks, something like that, for all 4 corners. Now, let me say first of all, the lift that's on the truck was the lift that I got for the 2018. It's the same lift. So I haven't spent any additional money on this truck as far as the lift goes. I just reused what I had before, other than the installation, of course. So I'm not double dipping. I'm not going even more in having spent money already. You know, I utilized that lift on my other truck, and I've utilized it on this one so far. And honestly, what I'll probably do is sell that lift, the components of it, the spacers, and the blocks. So we'll see going down the road. That would offset the cost of the additional or the new lift, if you will, anyway. So my hopes are to improve the ride quality. You know, and there's a little bit of an aesthetic hope for me as well. And let me show you what I mean. Let me pull you off of here. What I'm talking about, if you look at the shock setup that's on there now, you can see it right there. And if we go down under here, from the rear, you can see we have those nice blue and yellow shocks. Now, going up here to the front, let's walk you guys up here as well. You can see down in here, and it's hard to see because it's not as lit here, but you've got the blue showing. And they do show, of course, through the coils there, the springs. So you can see the shocks. Now, some of you are probably going to think I'm nuts, I'm being petty, I'm crazy, and probably all of those apply. However, in setting up my truck the way that it is right now with this gorgeous voodoo blue, aesthetics are important to me. And what's really cool, and it just so happens this way, I didn't choose these shocks because of this, but the Bilsteins are silver or gray, which, and I know a lot of people are going to say, what? You're putting silver on the truck? I thought you hated silver or / chrome. I don't like it on the outside of the truck. Under the hood, underneath, don't really have a big problem with it. And since silver, or they really look more like a gray to me, to be honest, but we'll go with silver because they do have that zinc plated finish to them. But I think it's close enough to a gray look, especially under the truck, that it would look okay. I mean, on the rear, you do have the exhaust and everything else that's under there that's galvanized or, you know, kind of silver looking anyway. So I think that would probably be okay for me. I'm talking about my preference here. And blend in, so it would be all right anyway. So we do have that little bit of an aesthetic appeal for me as well. Certainly not the whole reason or really much of the reason that I'm looking at doing these, but hey, if I'm being honest, it plays a role. Now, what about off-road capability? Well, the Bilsteins are billed as an off-road adjustable shock for lifted trucks. So I don't think that I'm going to lose any capability. Matter of fact, I shouldn't even say lose. I'm going to gain capability from an off-road standpoint. Now, I know everybody always comments and asks, when are you going to take this truck off-road? I am looking to take the truck off-road. It won't be anything severe. You know, I'm not going to be climbing up the side of a mountain with jagged rocks or anything crazy like that. Off-roading for me will be trails or dirt or maybe beside a river or a lake or whatever I happen to be able to find. And that's been the real challenge for me, is trying to find somewhere in my area. And you would think in southern Texas there would be things like that. I mean, there are lifted 4x4s all over the place here. I mean, if you're driving a car, you're probably in the minority. But there aren't a ton, if any, four-wheel drive parks or 4x4 parks or off-road parks around here. At least not that I've been able to find yet. And I think I have a big enough reach on here with people that are in this area that somebody would have clued me in by now. But anyway, back to the point, and that is off-road capability. Certainly the Bilsteins are off-road capable. I don't really have any concern with that whatsoever. So, as I mentioned, I've been in contact with the shop. I like what they're telling me. Their pricing seems to be fair, and nothing but good reviews. So I think maybe tomorrow, what will be tomorrow for me, for you guys, it could have been a week ago. I'm going to head over to that shop and have a conversation with them so I can get exactly what it is that I want and still maintain the look that I'm going for. Again, I'm thinking that's going to be the Bilstein adjustable 5100s. But if by chance they come up with something else, I'm not saying I wouldn't go that way, but I'd say it's 99% sure that at the moment it's going to be the Bilsteins. Anyway, I want to get on here, kind of let you guys know what's going on. I've talked about this a little bit, both in my live streams and in comments and in videos. That's my decision. Bilstein 5100s, I think, is the way to go. As far as tire fitment, I get a lot of questions about that. Just to let you know, right now, what I'm running on the truck, and I'll show you, are 285/70 R17s. Let's find it on here so you guys can actually see it yourselves. There you go, right there. 285/70 R17s. I know it's upside down, right? So you might actually have to stand on your head to read that, but no problems with those fitting whatsoever. If you happen to be running a sport trim level on your Tacoma you would have to remove that air dam from the front. Not a big deal, a few screws. Honestly, I'm not even sure what it's for. That's what I had done on my other truck. You can also angle it. It can be cut at an angle to kind of match the fender, and it'll be out of the way too. So whichever way you want to go, they do fit with my offset. And by the way, I have a minus 12 millimeter offset. I'm staying away from the UCAs so I don't have any problems with them rubbing or hitting the UCAs in more severe or harsher turns. Anyway, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. 5100 Bilsteins. What do you guys think? Am I making the right decision? Let me know. Also, if you'd like to, and you're interested, check out my other channel. It is RobMotion, all about my 2020 Jeep Gladiator, sitting right up there. And don't forget to click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.